You say hi?
Hi.
So here we are. I'm 25 weeks pregnant. Here's my baby bump. And we are getting ready to go inside to my 25th week appointment for the MFM, the maternal fetal medicine doctor. And so we're going to get another ultrasound. We're going to check on that placenta previa and see if it's moved, if it's resolved, and how far up it's gone, hopefully. So we're keeping faith, and we're just praying and hoping and believing that we'll get some good news today.
Me is this one.
Hey, so it's a different day. I'm still 25 weeks pregnant though. We tried recording after my appointment that day, and because my phone was so low on storage, it would not let me turn my camera on. So here I am, different day, but I wanted to give you the news about the placenta previa. I actually have like amazing news. So we went to get the ultrasound and everything looked great. The baby looked great. Everything with me was fine. And so at the very end, I asked her, I said, can you look to see how my placenta is? And she didn't know about my previous appointment and the diagnosis. So I told her that I had been diagnosed with that previa. And so she looked and she was actually pretty surprised because she was like, well, your placenta is all the way over here and your cervix is like over there. And she was like, so it's pretty far away from your cervix. So I don't think you have placenta previa anymore. And so I was super surprised just because I had been praying so much for those last 4 weeks, especially the 2 days before my appointment. And I actually asked God, I said, God, let my placenta be far from my cervix in Jesus' name. And so when she said those words, I just knew like that was God, that God did that. Because honestly, I was feeling so nervous about it. Like for the last 8 weeks since I was 16 weeks, and they told me that I had this issue. And I had been looking up stories and trying to get encouragement online, looking for other people's stories of this situation resolving. And I know they say that it's a high chance, that you have a high chance when it's diagnosed early for it to resolve on its own. But honestly, it was hard for me to find any stories that would prove that. And so I found two stories on YouTube that of two different females who had a similar situation. They were a little different. One of them, she had a partial placenta previa, and hers only resolved enough for her to give birth vaginally. It was like literally exactly 2 centimeters away from her cervix. And so that kind of scared me a little bit just because it was that little bit of a difference. And then the other girl, she had a complete one, just like me, but hers hadn't resolved enough for her to be able to give birth vaginally. And she was still waiting for it to continue moving. And so those were the only two stories I could find. And so I was just really nervous about it. But I now don't have it anymore. It resolved in 4 weeks. And I just know that was an answer to my prayers. And I give God all the glory for that. And now I'm a candidate to give birth vaginally. And I actually switched from having an OB, from my OB doctor to a midwife before finding out the news, only because I was told that I could always switch back to giving birth at the hospital if I needed to. But my hope was to give birth at home. And so now I am a candidate to give birth at home. And I'm just really, really, really excited about that. And I'm just praying from here on out that there won't be any other complications. I do have white coat syndrome. So that's something that I need to just try to overcome. But apparently I get high blood pressure when I'm at the doctor's office, but I check my blood pressure at home every day and it's normal. So they're going based on my blood pressure readings at home just because I logged them and I showed them proof that it's normal. But for some reason, I just get like anxiety at the doctor's office, which is another reason why I switched to a midwife also, is because I just want to be in the comfort of my home when it's time for delivery. And I just want to be just at peace and not have those like type of issues. But yeah, and some of the symptoms that I'm having at 25 weeks pregnant, I am definitely getting lots of heartburn It's been horrible, just the worst heartburn I think I've ever had with any of my pregnancies. And I'm also getting the weirdest, most annoying craving that I've ever experienced. It's not a food craving, and I've only had it with my fourth pregnancy and now with my fifth. It's a smell craving. So I literally crave certain smells of soaps, and it's only like soaps or detergents. It's not so much like hand soap, it's more like dishwashing liquid or